All right. We are here. Welcome back to the podcast, people. I have a special one for you. The one and only Shawn Hart of RapidCrush. He is, to put it lightly, an Amazon selling boss. He's been in the game forever. And so actually, a friend of this channel, a buddy of mine who's been on this channel before, has been following RapidCrush and following Shawn for a while, and he shoot me a message a little while back. He said, "You need to have these guys on to talk about their China trip specifically, because it's known out there as like the original China trip, the #1 China trip." So I wanted to have the boss himself on here just to kind of enlighten everyone about the benefits of doing business in China, as well as some knowledge bombs for Amazon FBA. So I like to have people introduce themselves like real briefly before we start. So if you guys want to read his full bio, it goes way back. He's done millions and millions of dollars in sales, started multiple companies. You can read his full bio by clicking the link in the description. But yeah, so Shawn, tell people quickly where you're from and how you got into this game.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks for the introduction, Riley. So my name is Shawn Hart. At this point in time, I live right outside of Tampa, Florida, on the water. I was just out there fishing on my dock before this call, Riley. So I like to spend a lot of time in the sunshine. I'm here with my wife and family and loving it. But like I was telling Riley before we kicked off the call, I was retired for the second time in my life at about 35 years old, I think it was. And we just kind of kicked back and enjoying things. But I came across the Amazon FBA private label opportunity. And like I said earlier, it was kind of the way where I could keep my finger in the game a little bit without really getting my feet wet. But things just blew up. And, before you knew it, my partner Seth and I were doing over $1 million a month in sales, all on private label products from all sourced in China. So being a natural giver, I felt compelled to extend what I knew, my knowledge of doing business in China, with other Amazon sellers, because at the end of the day, we're just a really small fish in a large pond. There's plenty to go around, and I don't really buy into the whole mentality of scarcity, if you will. So I enjoy sharing the opportunity. I have a ton of experience doing business in China and with the Chinese business culture, and really enjoy sharing with others and watching those breakthroughs that Amazon sellers specifically get when they go directly to the source in China and buy their product at rock bottom prices. It's amazing.
Yeah, and just so people know, I'm showing your vlog here in China. I was surprised. Like he's doing the exact same kind of vlogging that I was doing when he's in China. He's going around with his GoPro, just showing the ins and outs, showing exactly what it's like. So if you guys want to see more footage from China, you can check over there on his YouTube channel. So yeah, so I was telling you, my audience is people getting into FBA, obviously, because that's what I do. That's how I make my money for the past 3 years. That's how I'm living that life out here in Thailand and such. So yeah, about China, how did you get into the China game? And yeah, what should people know if they're kind of on the fence thinking about it?
Yeah, so, I had stopped going to China after several years. I went 2 times a year to the Canton Fair. And Canton Fair, it's an amazing experience, as you know, Riley. It's something that any physical product seller should probably have in their bucket list to visit, because it's an amazing experience being the biggest physical products trade fair in the world. I went twice a year looking for ideas, but I had a really hard time actually doing business in the Canton Fair. And what I mean by that is, when I go to the fair, I'm going to buy product to sell at a profit. And I found it difficult to do that at Canton because it was more of a big dog and pony show. Everybody was trying to show off, who had the hottest new products and the best looking trade show booth. And it was all about, hey, give me your name card. Let me add you to my email list. By the way, you already know that's nearly impossible to be removed from a Chinese mailing list, right?
I do know that. So yeah, I have to type in unsubscribe. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. So anyway, it's all about collecting business cards and letting the rep at the trade show booth show that he's doing his job to I guess, impress his boss or whatever. So when I go, I want to write orders, and I just found it really difficult to do that. So when I started my Amazon business and I seen how massive the opportunity was for these, just average everyday people to be able to compete with the big guys on Amazon using that amazing platform, it was imperative that these folks go and private label their physical products so that they don't have to worry about competing on price and all this kind of thing. So I told my business partner at the time, I was like, look, as much as I hate to, because, in reality, China's not an amazing adventure. It's not a great vacation spot or a place that you want to take your kids on vacation or enjoy Disneyland, even though they have one in Shanghai. I'm uncomfortable there, but I go there for business. I said, I got to go. I'm going to go source us some products. And, so I started going to Yiwu because for me, Yiwu, which is spelled Y-I-W-U, Yiwu Marketplace is the single best place in the entire world to source physical products that you can buy in small quantities and get at a rock bottom price direct from manufacturing. So immediately I started taking other Amazon sellers to the Yiwu Marketplace and showing them exactly how to identify amazing product opportunities, how to negotiate with suppliers directly. You have to know a little bit about the Chinese business culture, as well as how to get the best price and support. And it just took off and went crazy. We've seen so many breakthroughs of Amazon sellers, like reducing their cost of goods by 80%. I know that's hard to imagine, but we've literally had people go from paying $5 for a unit, selling it profitably on Amazon, to paying like 75 cents or $1. It's ridiculous. So long story longer, we developed this trip and we focused specifically for Amazon private label sellers. And I like to take you right into China and give you a handheld type of experience of how I built my Amazon physical products business using Chinese suppliers from the Yiwu market. In fact, Riley, in 2015, buddy, we sourced and launched 350 brand new products on our Amazon store. And I mean, it just went, our business went through the roof from that point. So,
wow. As I got the 2016 trailer playing up here, so the first question that comes to my mind is, let's say you're an Amazon seller like me, and you want to, take this kind of shotgun approach. I'm going to call it, like launching 100 products or 300 products. How do you do that? I'm only one person. Do you have to like hire a bunch of VAs to kind of handle all of these, get the listings up, or how does someone take that approach? Because that's not an approach that I've talked about.
Right. Real good question, and I get that a lot. So what happens, Riley, when they start trying to expand their product line and their Amazon business, they try to focus in one category or one niche, or they show up in China, God forbid, with one single product that they want to try to source. And what I try to do is we create with our hosted trip, and I want to put that out there in the beginning. If we're obviously going to give you an opportunity to join us on a trip in April to China if you want to. It's not free. It's definitely a lot of value. But if you get anything else out of this interview, take it from me. My only regret about going to China is that I didn't do it in my very early 20s when I had the first opportunities. Because when I did, my income was just growing exponentially since then. I mean, double, triple, quadruple, almost overnight, because the easiest money in the world is saving money on a product that you're already buying and selling. So go to China with me or without me, you must do it. So how I do it, I go there with the mentality of, I'm not looking for a widget. I'm not looking for a pizza cutter. I go there looking for opportunities. And that's where people get messed up. When they go to China, they have like these proverbial blinders on, and they're focused only on finding this one widget, in this one unique color and size, and they get disappointed, because where we go in Yiwu, we have literally millions of unique product opportunities there for Amazon sellers. So it's hard to choose only one. So what I do is I do what's called power sourcing, and I teach all this. If you join us for a trip, we actually have very comprehensive pre-trip training in our members area for all our paid trip attendees, where we go through a systematic approach and show you exactly how to get in the mindset for doing business in China, what to do, what not to do. The thou shalt nots is what I like to call it. and how to prepare your mind and your business for the avalanche of opportunity that you're going to be exposed to when you get to China, specifically in Yiwu. And we teach all this in the pre-trip training. And then right, Riley, I go through every single morning. We'll spend 3 days working together there as a group. And every morning we start the day with a 1-hour training session where I kind of give you your game plan for the day and show you real life examples of what I've done in the past and what's working for us right now. Sourcing we're talking about. And then you'll spend an entire day in the marketplace with your hand-selected personal translator that's yours to use for the entire trip.
Oh.
Yeah, it's your exclusive translator that we'll team you up with. And you'll spend the entire day sourcing product and finding opportunity. And for the most part, the first day, Riley, these most of our clients get really confused about, how to approach suppliers and how to know a good product from a bad product, and that's okay. We expect you to go in there and feel like you're taking the old drink from a fire hydrant type thing. So then every single night, starting with day one, we do a 1-hour meeting where we team you up with one of our mentors that's been on the trip several times successfully in a small group, and then you discuss what's happened during the day. And then we finish the night where I do a 1-hour presentation from stage showing you slides and examples from my business and what works for me. And then we do a live Q&A. So day 2, you go into the marketplace with your exclusive translator again, which is, by the way, literally across the street from our hotel where all this is happening. And then you'll spend an entire day sourcing, almost, really getting your legs under you and getting comfortable with the entire process. And then again, on day 2, that evening, we do another training session. We do morning and evening every day. And then we break apart what happened during that day. And I'm telling you, I see this every single time. By day 3, you're walking into the marketplace like a professional sourcing agent, just as comfortable as I am, and walking away with major breakthroughs. And we're not only talking about price. We're talking about breakthroughs in customization, breakthroughs in terms from your suppliers. Imagine being able to get product without actually paying for it until you sell it at Amazon. It's amazing what's happening. So, yeah.
Wow, great. Okay, so that I was just going to ask a question about that. So let's say you're a person just getting started and you don't have tons of capital to throw down on products. Like say you don't have 10 grand, maybe you only have, 5 grand, and people contact me. They're like, I want to get into FBA. Like, how much is enough to get started? 5 grand, 10 grand. Can I get started with a couple grand? Yeah. What would you say?
Well, that's a great question. So that's kind of where I was going. So in the process, I teach the whole, go wide, not deep concept, because at the end of the day, just like it's impossible for you and I to price a product at the most beneficial, profitable, and optimized price coming out of the gate, it's really hard for you and I and other Amazon sellers out there to see a product and decide, hey, this is going to be a monstrous win for my business. So what I like to teach is go in and look for opportunities. And when you find those opportunities, place small orders, because in Yiwu, it is known as the world's largest small commodities market, where you can place orders as little as 1 piece, or you can buy 10,000 pieces from a supplier. So what I do is I go in there and I'll place all of these purchase orders. They're pro forma purchase orders. No one's going to get their feelings hurt if you don't actually activate the purchase order and pay for the product and receive it. So you go in, you find a product. This is my power sourcing technique. You say, hey, I think this might work. You don't stop and do your research right there on the spot. What you want to do is collect data on the supplier, get your pricing, take the name card, hold it up by the product, take a photo so you know who the supplier is and what the product is. And then in the off time, when you're in the hotel that evening or back home, wherever you came from, that's when you want to do all your due diligence to make sure that the product is viable, because you've already captured the data. You got the supplier, you have a photo of the product, you actually write a purchase order, a pro forma purchase order that says, this is the price that we agreed on. These are the delivery terms. This is the packaging. All you have to do at that point when you get home, if you say, hey, I want to pull the trigger on this, just send an email to the supplier and say, how do I pay my deposit? I want to activate this purchase order. It's that simple. And using that concept, I've uncovered some amazing winners that we make, hundreds of thousands of dollars on Amazon for product that you would have walked by, maybe laughed at. I mean, I sold, we don't sell it anymore, but I sold this stupid bottle cutter. It was like a glass bottle cutter for crafts, you know, where you can cut a wine bottle in half. And that product took off and it was going nuts. I mean, we were doing like $6,000, $7,000 a day in sales on that product. This was back in 2015. And I found it right there in Yiwu. I walked right by it and I thought, this looks different. You know, how much is that? You know, go through the whole process, which I'll teach you, you know, the process of negotiating and doing it quickly, and then write the order, then go home and do your research. And you know, that's the go wide, not deep approach. And then let's say you get home and let's see, you've written 100 purchase orders, which is definitely not unheard of in 3 days' time, and you only want maybe 10 of those products. So you're only committing maybe, you know, $200 or $300 or $500 or $1,000 to each individual item, just so you can test it. And once the test proves positive, then you go back and you up your orders and you start negotiating price and all that kind of thing. So for me, Riley, and what I'll teach your followers if they join us at Yiwu, or I'm telling you right now, go wide, not deep. It's not about making a profit from the first order. If you think about it like this, you know, I have $2,000 to spend. I'm going to no more than $200 on each product, and I'm going to do 10 different products. Well, you and I know from trial and error, you know, the 80-20 rule, maybe 3 or 4 of those products are going to take off and the rest of them are going to stink. All right. Well, if you only have $200 tied in it, you know, forget about it. But the ones that actually start getting traction, those are the ones that you're going to call the supplier back and say, hey, I finished my test, you know, and I teach you all of this script and everything, exactly what to say and do and how to get the best prices. But you call back and you say, you know, we've been through our test order. Things are looking positive. We're getting good feedback. Let's talk about a bigger quantity. And then the prices start coming down dramatically. And you only pursue the winners. In that case, you're going to feed the stallions and starve the ponies. Does that answer your question?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So a lot of people ask me like, you know, I'm thinking about testing, you know, 2 products at once, 3 products at once, you know, just buying wholesale off of Alibaba, which is how I do it. Is that good? Well, I'm like, you know, I never tried that way, but I know some people have. And, you know, if you have the cash to test, you know, 3 products at once, that can be good, because as I say in all my Amazon videos is like, in what a lot of sellers say, you try 3 and 3 or 4, maybe 1 will be a home run. Like it's the same thing with my Amazon store. It's the 80-20 rule. It's you know, 20% of the products are making 80% of the profit. So this is starting to make a little bit more sense now. So one thing that in my experience, I found the products that have been winners are the ones that are the most unique on Amazon, because you know, nowadays Amazon there's more sellers, so there's more listings, and there's more of the same stuff. So is that something that you teach, and how important is having a unique product for success? And how can these Yiwu suppliers, can they do like small customizations? Because I know some of my products are my best products are the most customized, the most unique. Yeah, what do you say along those lines?
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, just to be completely upfront, when we're in China, you know, if we're talking here doing an interview, that's something different. But we're on the ground in China, it's 90% focused on doing business in China. You know, we do spend a lot of time in the beginning on product selection, because a lot of people, you know, they show up and say, I don't know what to sell. Well, I like that, because then you're not going in there with blinders on. But we actually have clients who do this approach. I mean, at least a handful of people that I can think of right now that have been on the trip with me several times because of the support and all the activities that we do and the training on site. But they'll walk through the marketplace. You're going to love this, being a backpacker yourself. They go through with a portable photo booth. All right, you know, the little pop up with the white screen and some lights. And they'll
take product photos.
They'll do product photos on site as they're placing an order for 15 or 25 units. I mean, really small time order. They just upload with no optimization, nothing, no back end or front end optimization, no promotion. They just put the product on Amazon. And a lot of times, a small percentage, you know, 10, 15% of those are going to take off and start selling without any effort at all. Well, what they're doing, they're just sorting through all the noise. And when they find that product that gets a little bit of traction, it looks like a viable product, that's where they focus their energy. That's where they focus their budget. That's where they start doing all their promos instead of promoting everything. So just imagine if you just shoot a photo, 3 or 4, you upload it to your Amazon account, you create the listing, absolutely no promotion, nothing at all, and it starts selling 1 or 2 a day. That's a great indicator that you're onto a winner. And that's what I recommend.
So it would just be fulfilled by merchant at that point. It's not even in FBA.
100%. Yeah, exactly. You're going to do a merchant listing while you're waiting on the inventory to show up. A merchant listing. So just imagine, we launched a growing light for those 420 lovers out there in Colorado.
Okay.
It's like a $30 product that sells for $400. But the supplier wanted, like, you know, the minimum order quantity is like 2,000 units. I didn't want to make the commitment. So all we did was create a listing that was merchant fulfilled for $499. And it was like, you know, really, really long shipping time, like whatever the maximum was, 30 days or something back then. And that product took off and started selling 1 or 2, sometimes 3 a day as a merchant fulfilled product. And we had no inventory. We were literally fulfilling our orders from another seller's stock while we were testing it. But that gave me the confidence that it took to go out there and make that commitment to make a large purchase from that manufacturer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So I know some people, a question that might come up at this point is you're kind of doing the shotgun approach. Does anyone go to China, or anyone in your group just test it out with a drop shipping approach? So instead of even placing the purchase order, just take some product pictures, you know, maybe buy a handful of orders and just, you know, throw up a quick, you know, a Facebook ad or something like that and see if they get sales, or throw up a quick drop-in shipping store, or do a little bit of promotion, see if it bites.
Exactly. What you're talking about is an approach that I teach specifically to these Christian homeschoolers in Russia. I've been privileged to go over and educate these folks who are looking for home-based business opportunities. That's exactly what I teach them how to do. Awesome. You know, it's go AliExpress, find a product that you know might work, create a merchant fulfilled listing on Amazon, capture the order, drop ship from the supplier, and if it takes off, then you go and negotiate an order, you know, to be sent into the U.S. and they love it. I mean, but you're talking about people very, very underprivileged that just need to make a little bit of money. So I just do that as a, you know, pro bono work, just to give back to the world, but it's exactly the approach that they take. And I'm sure, and I can't put my finger on someone who goes on my trip and does that, but I'm sure there are people that use that exact same concept because, you know, let's face it, AliExpress and the internet as a whole levels the playing field for everyone worldwide. Yeah. So, you know, anything that you can find in Yiwu, you're going to be able to find it on AliExpress too, just at a higher price. So if you want to test it using dropship, by all means, you know, go for it. But it's very, very important that you be sitting there face-to-face, toe-to-toe, belly-to-belly with the supplier so that when your product takes off and starts going to the moon, you already have a foot in the door so you can go in and negotiate an amazing price and, by all means, ask for terms. I mean, we have people, depending on the supplier and the product, we have people who are getting 90-day payment terms just after a couple months of developing that rapport and that guanxi is what the Chinese call it, which is just your business network.
Cool. So yeah, I know when you're in China, you're focusing on doing business in China, but I want to, before we wrap up here, maybe get a few gold nuggets as far as just Amazon selling. And like, you know, after you get those, you know, 20% of products that are hitters, that are going to make you all your money. Like how important is Amazon pay-per-click advertising when it comes to, let's say you're getting a few sales to making it go to the moon?
Yeah. So the pay-per-click and all the sponsored ads is all managed by my partner, Seth, because he manages our Amazon business. It's literally, I take care of all the new product opportunities, identifying products, sourcing product, that type of thing. But really, at the end of the day, you can have all the tools and trickery that you want to come up with all these different softwares and strategies out there. But for Amazon, if you just keep it simple and go back to the basics, it works every single time. If you can, number one, you can make people find your product by optimizing the listing and doing very small amount of promotion. If people find your product on Amazon and they'll go ahead and purchase the product, which increases your conversion value, and you follow up with excellent customer support, you cannot lose. I don't care if you're buying the product from Walmart or if you're buying it directly in Yiwu Marketplace in China with me, the fundamentals are still the same. You have to start with a good quality product, because if you don't, you're just going to have to do the work all over again, right?
Yep.
So start with an amazing quality product, and you have to orchestrate that search, find, buy scenario, the holy grail, the natural Amazon purchasing, habits from people like me who buy on Amazon every day. Search the product, find the product, and purchase it. And more importantly, don't leave a bad review. I don't care if you get a good review, but a bad review is, you might as well just hang it up in the beginning and start over, because that's going to kill you every time. But if you start with a great product, and the best way to do that is have that one-on-one, that personal relationship with the supplier, so you can make changes as needed and increase the quality and keep the price competitive. It's, you don't have to give it away. Fundamentals, they're always going to be there.
Okay, awesome. So another thing is a lot of Amazon sellers, let's say their goal is to in a few years sell their Amazon business for like $1 million, 7 figures. That might be their goal or something like that.
Definitely.
Some people may say it's better to focus on one niche and focus on building that like one brand to sell it for $1 million. Have a lot of people in your program like sold their Amazon business? Is it harder or easier to sell an Amazon seller business if it's wide with a bunch of different products, or what do you say along those lines?
Yes, it is. It's not impossible, but we had at one point, and we're downsizing now because I'm selling off brands, just like you're talking about. But at one point, we had over 450 successful products, unique SKUs on Amazon, unique products. If you look at the different SKUs, there were 2,000 of them. But 450 unique products that we launched on Amazon. And at the end of the day, the buyer of your business has to be comfortable with the numbers, especially if they're borrowing the money. If they're getting the money from private equity or a bank, heaven forbid a bank, they are literally going to live in your undershorts for weeks and weeks and weeks looking at every single thing that you've done. So if you keep really, really good, clean records that are brand or product specific, then you shouldn't have any problem at all. But every time, and I've sold several businesses, for hundreds of thousands, and for, I had a $13 million deal once. What happens is, you have to put yourself, just reverse the script for a second. Imagine you're writing the check for $1 million for this business. What do you want to see as a buyer to make you comfortable spending your money? Okay? And start, if you create the business from the beginning with that idea in mind, when it comes time for your exit, it's going to be easy as pie. But if your books are not in order, you got skeletons in your closet for all the scam reviews that you've done and all these, black hat promotions, if you will, then it's going to come back and haunt you, because a buyer is going to see right through that, especially if they're getting financing. The banks see this happen all the time, and they're just going to, I've had them walk. I had one product on Amazon that we had sold for as much as $3.6 million, an accepted offer, and as little as $400,000 over a 3-year period, and never closed the deal one time. I had 8 different buyers, Riley, from $400,000 to 3.6. It was 3.6 to 3.8 million, but couldn't get the deal closed because it was so, the books are so convoluted and commingled with other brands. But if you go into this, all right, and you're using the shotgun approach, or go wide versus deep, as long as you keep your books specific to the brand, because that's really, at the end of the day, they're buying your brand. That's the intellectual property, is the brand and the controlling of selling that brand on Amazon, right? So keep those books nice and clean. Make sure that they're easy to read, and that an accountant can say, yeah, it's clean, because that's what's going to happen. And that's going to mess that or getting your account shut down in the middle of an acquisition are the 2 things that are going to kill the deal more than anything. I'm still trying to sell that business today. And we're still, we ended up having to launch a whole new Amazon account, move all of our inventory. It was a headache.
Okay. So if someone's doing the shotgun approach, do they start different Amazon accounts for each brand? And let's say one brand is Do you launch everything under one brand, multiple seller accounts? Is it like amazing products and it's got a bunch of different, type of niche stuff, and then you start another seller account, Riley's
Here's what we like to do.
products?
How you talk about Facebook ads. If you go in and create a new Facebook ad campaign and it doesn't work, what do? You just kill it, right? No one's mad at you. You just start another campaign. So what we do, we have several Amazon seller accounts, and Amazon will allow you to do this if you just let them know up front that for accounting purposes, you have to have multiple accounts.
Okay.
So we have a generic seller account where we do our shotgun approach and launch all these amazing products. Well, just because that product, if we sell this water bottle and it takes off and goes crazy, it's not married to that seller account. We're just using that seller account just for proof of concept. Once we prove the product is viable, then we'll go create a brand on one of our mainstream seller accounts and focus on that brand only. It's just like a Facebook ad. If it doesn't work, you kill it. If it does work, then you scale it, right? So if a product works on our generic seller account, then we just move it over to a legitimate seller account and really focus on making it a home run. And that's what I'd recommend. So don't get focused and be narrow-minded. So I have one seller account. I can't sell 10,000 products on it. Sure you can. You only need one piece of inventory for each product. Forget that seller account. That's not the business that you're selling. It's like you got two sets of books almost. This one's for testing. This one's for growing and scaling.
Okay. Good to know. I do have two seller accounts that I've mentioned before for my new brand that I'm starting. A lot of people think you can't, and I actually thought you couldn't have multiple seller accounts, but you reach out to them and they say, yeah, it's okay. We're starting a new brand. It's new credit cards, all that type of stuff. Okay, cool. So I think we've gotten a lot of gold nuggets about this whole method here for people to figure out if maybe they're on the fence going to China, if maybe they want to do it or not. So Yiwu, kind of what's the big picture? There's a fair and it's twice a year.
No, Yiwu is a small commodities market that consists of 5 districts, okay? Each one of these 5 districts, well, you've been to the Canton Fair. You know how amazing, how massive the building is?
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of them, right? Well, one district is equivalent to a Canton Fair, all right? And there are 4 or 5 levels in each district. Yeah, so imagine that. So you have 80,000 unique sellers with millions of products offered between all these 80,000 sellers. And the good part about it is how China, mainland China, is organized by industrial zones according to the commodity. All right. So if you want electronics, they're in Shenzhen. If you want sneakers and shoes, they're in Fushan. If you want bicycles, they're in Yongkang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Yiwu marketplace is also similarly organized by commodity. So if you only want kitchen products, and this is hypothetical, I don't know where it's at, but if you only want kitchen products, every single kitchen product manufacturer is in District 2, Level 3, Aisle G, H, and I, okay? Yeah. So if that's what you want to focus on, you can narrow all of your energy down to that one location and work kitchen products. All the baby products are here, automotive products here, pet products here, garden products there. And that's the good part about Yiwu. The next best thing is that it's open year-round with the exception of right now on this stupid Chinese New Year, which is a long, boring holiday, even for some Chinese. But, when they shut down, buddy, they shut down, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I see them all here in Chiang Mai right now.
There you go. So with the exception of Chinese New Year, Yiwu Market is open round the clock, or not round the clock, I'm sorry, round the year, except for end of February, 1st of March. And it's every morning. They open at 8 a.m. Every day they close at 5, Monday through Sunday. No vacations. That's it.
Awesome.
And you can go there anytime you want. Fly into Shanghai and take the high-speed train to Yiwu, or you can fly directly into Yiwu. They do have a small airport there. But by all means, if you want to learn, like you want to be spoon-fed, handheld experience and learn from a master, April of this year, in a couple of months, I'm taking another group of people over there. And quite frankly, Riley, it may be our last hosted trip. I'm getting a little bit tired of it, kind of burnt out. We've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I love meeting amazing business people, especially online entrepreneurs, or like first time they've had a successful business and it's an online business, because just the energy that you'll get in a room full. We've had groups of hundreds, like 240 people on one trip. And just think about the networking of all these other amazing sellers that are all there trying to do it directly. And if you have any reservation in your mind at all that you might have a hard time doing business in China, or you can't handle the travel or whatever, get over it. Trust me, you can do it. I've had an 80-year-old woman over there sourcing product with me in China. I brought my 10-year-old son. I brought my 7-year-old son with me. My 10-year-old son had a heyday buying product last year. I'm taking him with me in April. So if you join us in April, you see my son Cash. He'll be over there buying product. He's in
I was going to say, I was reading your bio and I started laughing when your son Cash. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
He's going with me again in April. So I can feel it right now. I can see you. You're going to join us in Yiwu in April, aren't you?
I got to do it, man. I'm already too pumped out here.
I got a special seat for you. Don't worry. I'll take care of you over there.
Sweet. So all you subscribers, I'll be signing autographs. So that's another incentive.
There you go.
Just kidding. But anyways, that was great. If you guys want to figure out more about the trip, click beneath this video. Shawn, it was a pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely. Anytime. If you want to do some follow-up on Amazon stuff, I'm more than happy to help out with that. Just give me a little notice. And you guys, take care. God bless everyone. See you next time.
All righty. Thank you.